Good afternoon to all participants. On behalf of the Academy, I welcome you to day 40 of the Appendix 3 session. Topic for today is types of budget, outcome, zero-based budget, integrated, and incremental. To take you through the topic, we have with us Sri Maheshwara, Senior Instructor, Siddharth. Good afternoon and welcome to the session, sir. Now over to the topic.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon to participants. We'll commence the session. Yeah, today's topic is different types of budget. So we'll discuss this traditional budget or incremental budget and zero-based budget and outcome budget, performance budget. So we'll discuss all types of budget. But in operational, only one budget, that is a traditional or incremental budget is there, and outcome budget is there. Remaining budgets, it is in theory is there, because frequently asking the question on short notes about zero-based budget or performance budget or zero outcome budget. So it is useful for your exam preparation. We'll start the session. Yeah, please confirm in the chat box whether this is visible or not. This article. Please confirm in the chat box. At the end of session, I will unmute. Yeah, very good. Very good. Hope my voice also is audible. Hope my voice also is audible. Okay, we'll begin the session.
Voice is also audible. Please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. The first one is traditional budget or incremental budget. What we are adopting and we are doing the system in the present in railways. Yeah. Traditional budget is prepared using a previous budget actual performance as a base with the incremental amounts added for the new budget period. So that is a traditional budget, because usually we are estimating the current year budget based on the previous year's actual as the base, and we will add some incremental amount for current year, and we will prepare this traditional budget or increment. This is a very easy exercise. This is a very easy exercise, but we will check pros and cons of this budget. The allocation of resources or allotment of funds is based on the allocations from the previous period. So whatever, suppose previous period budget is 100 rupees. So current year budget either 100 rupees or we will add some 5 rupees or 10 rupees incremental. Then we will decide the budget estimates for current year. But this approach is not recommended because as it fails to take into account changing circumstances year to year, because it doesn't recognize the changes in the recent changes or whatever it is a technological changes. Suppose the diesel to traction or so many changes are occurred day by day. These changes, it is not possible to take into account in this traditional budget, because we are basing only previous year performance is the base, previous year's actuals. So moreover, it encourages the spending up to the budget because of a doctrine of lapse. What is the doctrine of lapse? any unspent amount at the end of financial year 31st March will be lapsed. And again, the fresh funds required for commencing the next year. So usually it encourages the spending authorities to spend complete budget because it is lapsed and it is not available for the next year. And at the same time, if you spend current year amount, because it is a base for next year, so they want to spend a complete amount or maximum amount to make it next year budget also the same reasonable allocation. So that it encourages the authorities and it leads the spend it or loss it mentality. Either you spend or you loss. So it encourages this concept of spend it or loss it mentality. So this is the selling features of this traditional budget. Now we'll check what are the advantages and disadvantages. Advantage for traditional budget is that it is stable and the change is gradual. Because the budget is very stable, fixed one. Only change is a little bit gradual and it is. And managers can operate their departments on consistent basis because they need not, there is no scope for any innovation or anything. It's only a consistent basis, regular basis they can operate budget. And very simple to operate and easy to understand. Very, very simple and at the same time very easy to understand this type of budget, what we are presently adopting in railways. And the conflicts are avoided when departments appear to be treated similarly because we treat all the departments in similar manner, that is actual expenditure. So there are no conflicts because all the departments we treated similarly. And coordination between budgets is easier to achieve because coordination between various budgets is very easy to achieve. And the impact of change can be seen quickly. What is the difference? What is the change in the actuals and this one we can see very easily and quickly. These are the advantages of traditional budget. Now we'll check the disadvantages. What are the disadvantages? That is the reason the all other organizations wish to go for this zero-based budget. That is completely against the traditional budget. So disadvantages is no incentive for developing new ideas because if any new ideas or any innovation, there is no incentive or any encouragement. And no incentive to reduce cost. So though executives are managed with less budget by cutting down the expenses, but no incentives to such managers. So this is the one disadvantages. And encourages spending up to the budget limit so that the budget is maintained next year same. So this is the advantage. Though it is a required or not required, the executives are forced to or interested to spend up to the complete budget allotment so that the next year budget also maintains the same level. So that is one of disadvantage. This type of budget is the out of date one. They are no longer related to the level of activity or type of the work being carried out. Here, the physical activity and physical performance is not important in this type of budget. Only the final figures, whatever amounts, it is the main criteria. And the priority for resources may have changed since the budget was originally set. Because at the time of estimating and at the time of implementation, there were a lot of changes in the priority for resources. So that is also, it is not taken into account. And one more main disadvantage is budget is built into the budget, which is never reviewed. Because normally what executives are doing, they are estimated their requirements more than required. Because to to work within the frame very happily. Because if they estimated exact amount, it is difficult to work in that limited budget allotment. So even though the requirement is 100 rupees, they try to get the allotment by estimating more amount for comfortable operating for their departments. So these are the disadvantages. Now we'll check integrated budget. Actually, it is as per codal. Right now, the RLS is not following, but we'll check. This is the para 622 of the engineering code integrated budget. It is nothing but a consolidation of the revenue budget, works budget, and the earnings budget. It is a collection of revenue budget, works budget, and earnings budget. It is the source is para 622 of engineering code. What is the object is to, in order to correlate the decisions relating to investment decisions, that is the demand number 16, a consolidated budget called integrated budget. It includes revenue, works program, M&P, RSP, as well as this revenue means it includes earnings budget. All should be submitted by railways along with the PWP. At the time of PWP, it was submitted, and it was prepared under the personal guidance of the GM and with the assistance of PFA. So this budget includes projections of traffic and earnings, and what is the demand number 16 works expenditure, and revenue working expenses, that is the demand number 3 to 13. And estimated financial results for the ensuing or following year, what is the surplus, what is the appropriation to various funds, what are the results, that is percentage of net profit to the and percentage of surplus to capital charge, and what is the projection operating ratio for next year. And at the same time, they required what are the estimates of rolling stock on account of either replacement or additional. So these items are included in the integrated budget. And in the covering note, it brings out the effect of budget proposals and efficiency of operations as indicated by the operating ratio, and the financial viability of the system as revealed by the financial returns and capital investment, all should be included in the covering note. Again, at the time of FWP, the same budget, it is a revised integrated budget after discussion of PWP, submitted along with the FWP final works program. Duly taking the account of the changes happened in the in between this PWP and FWP, whatever changes is happened, the same is included, incorporated, and sent along with the FWP. This is the briefly about integrated budget. This is the very important question. Outcome budget. Whatever lacuna, whatever cause disadvantages in the official budget, we try to address all these disadvantages of official budget in this performance of the outcome budget. It is simple. Conversion of financial outlays into physical outcomes is called the main theme of the outcome budget. Because in traditional budget, it is always we discussed about the budget allotments in financial terms. But in the outcome budget, the focus or emphasis on the physical outcomes. So here conversion of financial outlays into physical outcomes is called outcome budget main thing. We'll check at the end of this article some examples of how to convert this. So first one, we'll check what is the backdrop of this budget. See, the existing budget system, although involve proper checks and validation at various levels, relies heavily on expenditure figures of previous years, which are implemented as per the revised requirements in the next year. That is called traditional budget. So we are concentrated mainly on the expenditure figures, not on fiscal outcomes. So the present system consists of comparison of expenditure incurred vice versa budget estimates or allotments without taking into the final outcome of the expense to be achieved. So that is the main drawback of traditional budget. We are mainly concentrated on the what is the actual expenditure, what is the budget estimate, what is the difference. So we are comparing. We are not taking into the fiscal outcomes. So to avoid this one, the performance budget was introduced in the year 1969 following the recommendations of Administrative Reforms Commission. So it is a previous version of this outcome budget. Performance budget first initiated in the 1969. But after that, a need was felt to address again certain weaknesses in the performance budgeting system. That is a lack of clear relationship between what is financial and performance budget and inadequate target setting for ensuing year. So to address all these weaknesses in the performance budget, we are introducing this outcome budget in the year 2005 and 6 by the Ministry of Finance. In the central government, first it was implemented in the Ministry of Finance, this outcome budget. And next year it was implemented in all the departments from 2006 and 17. It was implemented in Indian Railways and other ministries also. But it is not applicable for all types of expenditure, only it is applicable for works. Yeah, sorry, some request is there. Speak in English. I am unable to speak in Hindi. Yeah. I'll try to explain in simple English. So from 2006 and 7 onwards, it was implemented in Indian Railways and other ministries. However, it is applicable for works only 5 crores and above. Now, only for works value 5 crores and above, it is applicable. Simply, outcome budget means converting financial outlays into fiscal outcomes. This is a mechanism of checks and balances. Checks and balances, and it is also called as a progress card. Like students, progress card. It is a progress card on what railways have done with the amount assigned in the previous annual budget. That is a completion of this previous year budget. We are preparing this outcome budget. It's like a progress card. How much amount is allotted and what is the achieved results in terms of fiscal output. It's like a progress card. So it is a measures estimated outcome of all government projects and checks whether money has been spent for the purpose it was sanctioned or not. That is the main object. Whether the money is assigned for a particular object, the same object is implemented or served or not, we have to check. So it is an evolving and dynamic process. The actual fiscal performance of the previous year, current year, and targeted performance during the next year is analyzed. Here, the importance not given in the expenditure figures is a fiscal performance. So, fiscal performance of the last year, current year, and the next year will be analyzed and achieved by defining intermediate and final outcomes. That means we have prepared immediate and intermediate outcomes and final outcomes. And for that, standardizing unit cost we have prepared and capacity building for needed efficiency and ensuring regulation and adequate flow of funds. So it is usually reviewed every 3 months, this outcome budget, and we'll put benchmark and effective monitoring and evaluation and identifying areas where funds to be reallocated. So this year, this is the best mechanism where the work is slack or where output is not expected up to the level. then we can withdraw from funds from those projects and will appropriate to the projects which yield higher return. So that is the identifying area where funds to be reallocated among the projects. So advantages will come to advantages of outcome budget. This is the outcome of the projects, not only in monetary terms, but also physical outcomes. Helps management to control expenses and introduce discipline in the expenditure, that is austerity measures. And government projects become more result oriented because we are assessing the physical output. And reduce cost by identifying projects that do not contribute enough outcomes, and these funds are withdrawn from those projects and we will supplement to the projects which are yielding higher returns. And we can fix in the accountability also. Accountability also can fix. So these are the examples of the outcome budget. Please check one by one. Here, what is the activity? Activity is the earthing of signals to reduce the incidence of failure due to frequent lightning. That is in numbers. So that is a earthing of signals to reduce the incidence of failure due to frequent lightning. What is the cost? This is the financial outlay. This is the physical outcome. So it's nothing but conversion of this financial outlay into physical outcome. So what is the financial outlay for each item is the 30 lakhs. So how to this 30 lakhs is benefited to railways in the physical outcomes? So the physical outcomes are substantially reduced the rate of signal failure in the section from H to XA. So that means after incurring this 30 lakhs for one earthing of signals, there is a substantially reducing rate of signal failure and enhancing the throughput of section in terms of GTKM and ATKM for passenger trains, or PKMs in case of that is right trains, GTKM and NTKM. For passenger trains, it is a PKM, passenger kilometer, and this will be translated into the lakhs per month. What is the savings by increasing this GTKM or NTKM or PKM or reduce the rate of signal failure? So what is the conversion to the financial? And if we check another example, the fitment of fuel efficiency kit in diesel locomotive. So to increase the efficiency of this fuel locomotive, we are fitting to one kit in the diesel locomotive. That each kit costs 45 lakhs. So what are the physical outcomes? That is the SFC increased SFC consumption, improved specific fuel consumption from F to FA, and saving of HSD oil in liters per month, because of if we increase the better SFC, that means it is a saving of a lot of high speed diesel oil. That is in how many liters it saved per month, and the same will be converted into the lakhs per month. So that this is the and development of goods shed with the state-of-art facilities. So the cost is, proposed cost is 50 lakhs. So by incurring this 50 lakhs, what are the outcomes is the reduced detention of rate from X to XA, or enhanced loading in tons, and freight revenue expected to be increased by the lakhs per month. So another example is constructing road over bridge or road under bridge in place of LC gate. Suppose the cost is 2 crores. So we can expect the fiscal outcome is the elimination of accidents at the level crossing gates and increase in the maximum train speed and reduction in the train detention and increase the throughput and increase the GTKM, NTKM or and PKM and enhanced traffic earnings and revenue expected to be increased by all these measures and we will calculate in the lakhs per. So this is the physical outlays and financial outlays and converting into physical outcomes. This is the basic theme of this outcome budget. Now we'll check zero-based budget. This is the very important one for academic point. This is a quite reversal of this traditional budget. Quite reversal of traditional budget. Now we'll check the salient features of zero-based budget. A technique of planning and decision making which reverses the working process of traditional budget. It is like a technique and it is reverses the process of traditional budget. Already we discussed it. In traditional budget, manager justify only increase over previous year period. Suppose the previous year actual expenditure is 100 rupees. This year we have proposed 110 rupees. So the executive is only justified this increase in 10 rupees only, not for 100 rupees. That is taken for granted. Because the last year spend means this year also the same spend. Yeah, GTK means gross ton kilometer, NTK means net ton kilometer. There is that. So that means what managers think what has already been spent is already automatically sanctioned. So there is no justification required for automatically sanctioned amount, that is the last year actual amount. And no reference is made to the previous level of expenditure. So that is the main drawback in the traditional budgeting. But by contrast, in ZBB, each department and every department function is reviewed comprehensively with all from the scratch, and the entire expenditure must be approved, not only incremental amount. Suppose last year 100 rupees, this year proposing 10 rupees, so entire 110 rupees we have to justify in ZBB. Whereas the traditional budget will justify only 10 rupees. But here, entire 110 rupees we have to justify. That means the budget request should be justified in complete details by each manager, starting from the zero base. That's why it is called zero base budget. Because he has to certify the budget from the scratch, from the zero level. So that's why it is called zero base. And this zero-based budget is indifferent to whether total budget is increasing or decreasing, it doesn't mind. It only justifies each and every rupee, and it is not bothered about whether the previous budget is increased or decreased. And this type of budgeting is very useful or ideal for government budgets. Because in government budget, the expenditure can easily run out of control. It is automatically assumed what has spent last year must be spent this year, but that is a very wrong notion. So in their mentality is whatever is spent last year, it is automatically required or justified in the current year also. So now we'll check advantages. The advantage of ZBB is the efficient allocation of resources because it is based on the needs and benefits. Needs and benefits. And it drives managers to find cost-effective ways to improve operations. It is because they are trying to find what are the innovative measures, what are the cost-effective ways to improve operations. And detects inflated budgets And especially it is used for service departments like telecom and railways, because here the output is very difficult to identify because these are the service departments. Output normally, unless it is in POH or workshops, here in the railways, most of the expenditure is there for servicing to public. And it identifies and eliminates the wasteful and obsolete operations. And it eliminates the this mentality that is spend it or lose it mentality of traditional budget or incremental budget. So this is the main advantage. Now we'll check the disadvantages of the ZBB also. See, for each and every system there is a pros is there, cons is there. So here the disadvantages instead of disadvantages we can call it as limitations, because into there is no disadvantages for ZBB. The limitations, it is a difficult to define decision units and decision package. Very difficult to define the exact units. And it is a time consuming and exhaustive, so it is not ideal for a small organizations. Very time consuming, very highly spending, and difficult to understand and communicate with the budget because more managers are involved in the process, so it is a little bit complicated procedure. This ZBB. And it is forced to justify the every detail related to the expenditure, so it is not suitable for R&D department, because R&D department we cannot assess the output as easily as possible for like in other departments. So it is not suitable for R&D departments, research and development. So these are the advantages and disadvantages. Now we'll check the performance budget, last one. After then, we'll take up this MCQ on different budgets. This is also not in operation in railways. Just for PV point, please check. Now, in place of this performance budget, this performance and outcome budget, we called it and we are implemented in railways. So what is the performance budget? So the purpose is to motivate the employees about commitments to produce positive results, right? So it motivating the employees about their commitments and produce positive results. That means cost and benefit of each activity is analyzed regarding allocation of funds. So whenever the amount is incurred, so what is the cost and what is the benefit accrued by spending that cost? So this type of analysis is important in the performance budget, and it involves works measures and benchmarking and yield cost like those in the outcome budget. So what are the what consists of this performance budget is identifying the targets and methods of evaluating performance of each unit of an organization, and taking into account of inputs, that is resources and output services, and to be completed within a particular time frame, and allocation of funds based on the specific goals. Now whatever is there, it is already implemented in the performance outcome budget. Advantage is it improves performance in a continuous manner and makes clear program goals, objectives, fixed targets for performance, and justifies reallocation of resources on the basis of performance. This is a very, very important. This is a reappropriation, and higher transparency and accountability to taxpayers, and better cost estimation enable to allocate funds to various projects by their importance. These are the advantages. Now we'll check the disadvantages or limitations. Focus more on targets, not on means of achievements. How we are achieving the these targets is not important in performance budget. Only they are interested in the target, whether they are achieved the target or not. And focus more on quantity, not on quality. That means it is a very difficult in railways. See here, quantity is not important. Quality of the POH of locos, coaches, wagons to ensure the safety of the public. So here In the performance budget, they are concentrated more on quantity, not on quality. So that is not correct for the railways. And data may be manipulated to reach targets to get funds, which is everywhere is there, and becomes ineffective with a proper system of accounting and reporting. And in government organizations like Indian Railways, with multiple agencies, the disagreement may arise on spending priorities. These are the various budgets. Now we'll go for MCQ on this topic. Please submit your answers, sir. This MCQ. Yeah, total 13 questions is there. So the first lot 10 questions. Please confirm whether it is visible in the chat box. This MCQ. Please, someone may confirm in the chat box.
Yes, it is visible, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, please attend the questions, and we will discuss at the end of the this answers. Bikramjit Mitra, we will discuss letter of credit in the session. That is a mechanism of providing liquidity or funds to the suppliers by bank. Yeah, I'm going to end this. Mr. Vinod, I will unmute after end of this MCQ. Please wait. Yeah. Now I'm ending this call. So another 3 questions is there. Please submit. Just 2 minutes time. This second call. Only 2 minutes. Yeah, please confirm whether it is visible or not. The second call. Please confirm the chat box. Okay, right. This is only 2 minutes time, only 3 questions. After then we'll discuss queries, MCQ. I will discuss these queries. Yeah, Mr. Vinod Tripathi, please unmute.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Please tell me.
Sir, at present, integrated budget is being prepared.
Pardon?
Sir, at present, integrated budget is being prepared. And which type of method is adopted?
Only outcome budget is there at present, and traditional budget is the regular budget.
Okay, sir.
It is as per codal, it is integrated budget is there, but right now we are not sending that integrated budget to railway board.
Okay, sir.
And performance budget, it is now it is converted as the performance from outcome budget. Performance.
Yes.
So
Yes,
zero-based budget, it is a concept. It was please. It was introduced in some departments
Yes.
in central government, but railways it is a proposal, but not yet implemented in complete. But it is only proposal. and we will discuss MCQ now. Please confirm that is visible or not this MCQ, different types of budget. Yeah, okay. Now the first question is another name of the traditional budget. It is the correct answer is the incremental budget, not integrated, not performance. Only 40% choose a correct answer. And the second question, which budget encourages executives as spending up to the budget? Spending up to the budget, it is the called, again this is the traditional budget. The traditional budget encourages the executives as spending up to the budget limit. So it is only 27% correct. Please listen. Integrated budget consists of, yes, it is a 77% correct answer. It includes revenue budget, works budget, and earnings budget. That is called integrated budget. 77% correct answer. And fourth one, revised integrated budget is to be submitted along with PWP. That is wrong. Because the revised integrated budget is submitted along with the FWP, final works program, not PWP. And conversion of financial outlays into fiscal outcomes. This is the, we are talking about only outcome budget, not performance or zero base. Because in the outcome budget, we are converting this financial outlays into fiscal outcomes. So only 59% is correct answer. Outcome budget is introduced to avoid the lacuna in the performance budget. Yes, to address some weaknesses in the performance budget, we are introduced to outcome budget. Yes is the correct answer, 79%. Outcome budget was introduced in Indian Railways in the year, it is a 2006 and 7. Because in the first it was introduced in the Ministry of Finance in the 2005 and 6. And the next year it was introduced in the upper ministries along with the Ministry of Railways. That is 2006 and 7, 1% is correct answer. And outcome budget is applicable for all works valued 5 crores and above, not 10 crores or 50 crores, 5 crores and above. That means 55% is the correct answer. 55% people have chosen correct answer. So the C, that is correct answer. 9, all expenditure must be justified from the scratch. Yes, I am talking about zero-based budget. Because in the zero-based budget, every expenditure in detail should be justified. It is from the 0 point to complete. So it is ZBB, zero-based budget. And cost and benefit analysis is carried out in the performance budget. CNB analysis is carried out in the performance budget. That is cost and benefit. That is only 38%. Now we'll discuss second MCQ. That is only 3 questions. Yeah, please check. So the outcome budget is like a progress card. We can describe the outcome budget like a progress card on the Indian Railways performance. So only 51% is correct answer. And what is the process of this reversing the process of traditional budget is the zero-based budget reverses the process of traditional budget. So the answer 1 is correct, only 45%. Integrated budget is prepared under the personal guidance of GM. It is the personal guidance of GM, it is prepared and with the consultation of PFA, not PFA personal guidance. So the GM is correct answer, 38%. Yeah, with this, all MCQ is over. Any queries, please raise the hand. Otherwise, we'll call it a day. Yeah, you can type your queries in the chat box also. Any queries? Yeah, Mr. Bikram Mitra, letter of credit, we will conduct one more session, we will discuss there. That is, yes, sir, it seems no queries from the participants.
Okay,
Wind up.
so I think we will have to call it the end of the session. So that was once again an excellent inputs are given about the budget. On behalf of the academy, I thank all the participants. I also thank the speaker of the day, Sri Nageswara Garu, Senior Instructor Sitara. To remind, tomorrow's session will be on bookkeeping final accounts. Login will be at 14:45 hours. Session will start at 15 hours. Thank you one and all.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you all.